live in Scotland, and I think there is something seriously wrong with the chief lunatic, aka First Minister, because she's I hate the term quite literally, but she has quite literally defunct all rights that women have to personal spaces and toilets, changing rooms, prisons, anywhere, because um, of the Gender Recognition Act, which means that a 6'8" bearded guy can basically stick a frock on, and he does not need to go through any um, surgery to get his tackle off. He can keep that, and there's a very good reason why men who put dresses on and want to get into women's spaces want to keep their tackle. Aye, right, well, see, up until about 5 years ago, then men who were dressing like women either get laughed at, or they kept it to themselves, or they just attempted to assimilate into kind of society without any fanfare. They didn't feel the need to rant on about it incessantly. They didn't feel the need to um, do what is being done at the moment, which is that they want the same rights as women. Well, there's quite a few reasons why men shouldn't have the same rights as women, and that is pretty much because they're not women. If you look at the women's sports thing, which everybody says is, oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Well, do you know what? Up until 5 minutes ago, then every man and every woman were segregated, and they were segregated not because of some sort of scandal. They were segregated because men beat women hands down at running, swimming, fighting, anything, absolutely anything, right? If it's a physical sport, right? That's why if women were to compete with men, if you just went right, that's it. Nobody doesn't matter. Nobody has any sort of right. That's it. We'll just have a race, right? What you would have is men, men. Like if you had if you had 8 people in the race and 4 of them were women, the last 4 would be women. End of story. Every time, whether it be swimming, racing, cycling, everything. Right? You look at the times. You look at the most mediocre man running beats pretty much the top women. Hello? There's a reason for that. It's because they're men, and I think it's about time that men were accepted as well. As I think actual men, not men in dresses who want to go into women's toilets and be perverts or paedophiles or whatever else it is. I mean men, accept that men are men and women are women. And if a man is a man, he should be celebrated as such. I don't want men to be pussies and to be carrying handbags and generally been, what's that? I can't remember right. I probably got it sort of like years out of date. But they men who they're woke. See, men who are woke, there's a word for them. Pussies. Because they don't, do you know what they're trying to do? They're attempting to get women to like them because they're pussies. Well, see, to be fair, they sort of women I can't stand for a start. I don't like them, right? Women who want men to be pussies should just fuck off. And men who are willing to behave like pussies should fuck off as well. And I was stupid enough to go on a dating site and just to see the online dating thing, whatever. And I spoke to a guy, and the first thing I said to him, he said, "Oh, hi, how are you?" whatever. And I said, "I hope you're not woke." And he said, "Oh my God, are you a Nazi?" And I went, "What? You're a pussy, not interested." And he messaged me back and said, well, can we put our differences aside and have a bit of fun? And I said, "You unprincipled wanker, no, we can't. Because you do not have the courage of your convictions. You're literally trying to scam women." And I was like, "Why scam me?" I was like, "Go scam somebody that looks as if they're bent out of shape." Dah. And something else that bloody bugs me as well, Sturgeon. Sturgeon has literally descended Scotland into a shithole, and all the women, fuck them, basically. The women that are alive today, fuck them. You can just fuck off. But I would like to issue an apology to anybody who is dead 500 years ago because you were accused of witchcraft. What is the actual point to that? It's like sawing the bottom off of the doors. It is pointless, rambling shite. What is wrong with that person? What is wrong with her? She's no right. There is something absolutely categorically not right with her, because she's apologising to folk who have been dead for 500 years, and she's terrorising the female population quite happily who are alive. She's a bloody pollution. And not to mention, she wants to wade into the Ukraine-Russia thing. Well, do you know what? I hope Putin wades in and invades Scotland and kicks the ever-living shite out of her. That's what I hope, honestly. I hope he does. I hope he goes like that. Well, do you know what? Fine then. You witch. And he rocks up. What's she going to do about that? She's a absolute bell end. She's done absolutely nothing for this country. Nothing. Apart from descend it into a... Actually, we used to be quite a proud nation, and anybody that votes for her needs slapped incessantly until they stop it. Right? She just wants open borders, providing nobody English comes in. It's got to be some manner of illegal immigrants and EU, whatever. That's fine. That's fine. We don't mind that. But God, fuck, if don't be English. Don't come here if you're English. But she's quite happy to turn like Glasgow into fucking Afghanistan. That's fine. Our whole constituency is an actual third world hellhole. And I don't care what MD says, it was more of... Everybody says, oh well, did you see it before that? No, I'm saying the actual Scottish people don't live there anymore. Nobody Scottish lives there anymore. It's just immigrants, and it's a shithole. It's an actual shithole. Nobody's integrating with MD. It's turned into mono enclaves all about Glasgow, right? And she's happy with that, because what she does is she gets them to vote for her. That's the only reason she can stay in. Right? Nobody seems to notice that this is happening for some unknown reason. And she also wants your children to be perverted and terrorised by paedophiles. She's got school inspectors get into primary schools and asking primary school children who are under 10 what their sexual proclivities are. And one of the questions that they're asking them is about anal sex. I think the people who... I don't care if you're... I'd rather die in a ditch or starve living in a skip than take a job. If that was my job and somebody said to me, you need to go into a school and ask 4, 5 and 6-year-olds what their sexual orientation is and what their gender bias is and whether they're into anal sex, right? If anybody asked, I would never speak to children like that ever. Right? Never. Why would you? And if you accept that in your job, you should be the one, you should be arguing about that, or you should leave your job. If you're agreeing to that, then you must be a nonce. You must be, because I would never... I've got nieces and nephews who... I would never speak to my nieces and nephews like that, let alone anybody else's kids. I would never walk in to a classroom and say, oh, let's talk about your sexual orientation. to a bunch of, I don't care what age they were, children. No, you shouldn't be talking to children like that. This is the problem. And as well, there's a big thing about this thing where you're allowed to self-identify as, if a wee laddie goes into the school and he's 6-year old and he goes into the school and he goes, oh, do you know what? I think I'll be Mabel the day. And they go, don't tell your parents. Well, do you know what? See, about 30, 40 years ago, secrecy was getting outlawed, and you were told that if a stranger or anybody spoke to you and said to you, don't tell your parents, it's a secret and everything else, then you had to go and tell the police, which is a joke now because Sturgeon's got Police Scotland and rainbow clown cars, and the whole place is a nightmare as far as that's concerned. But you were told that you had to, if you were getting told that you had to keep a secret. If a child at school is told to keep secrets for their parents, the next move is, look it up if you don't believe me, MAPS. MAP, Minor Attracted Persons. They have changed the name, and do you know what? Different name, pedos. Minor attracted persons. We should not be discriminated against just because we're like young underage kids. And see, when these clowns are telling your kids, and don't think teachers are the pedos. I'm not saying they're all pedos. I'm just saying some of these folk get into these jobs for a reason, right? And when they get into this job and they go like that to your child, oh, we'll just keep this a secret. Do you know what? Next move is, in the cupboard, we'll just keep this a secret as well. Then we'll get you in puberty blockers, and then we'll do this and that. And this is child abuse, paedophilia, and read about Foucault and that mad German guy, Heinrich, and everything else. Leftists are all about sexual inclusion, right? Which is these clowns that you see out walking the streets with their arse hanging out, their dick hanging out, and they're dressed up as like animals, and they've got furry costumes on, and they're taking their gimp about with a lead on, and they're get gimp things on, and they're right. See, that used to be in private if you wanted to do these things, right? See, now it's getting celebrated, and the police are getting their pictures taken with rampaging mad perverts out in the street, and the police are going, it's all inclusive, and the police have got rainbow clown cars where we're all inclusive. So, do you know what? If I was walking down the street and a 6'4" guy with a dress on, calling himself Mabel, right, attacked me, and I battered the absolute shit out of him, right, and the police turned up, he would go like that. My name's Mabel, I identify as a woman, and she just attacked me for no reason. And Do you know what the police response would be? I'd get to jail for battering a 6'4" guy. Right? This is what this feminists, you all need kicked in the see you next Tuesday, because you all said let's be equal, let's be equal. We are not equal. That is the point. We are not equal. Men and women are not equal. That is the point. I should not have to defend myself against a man. Men should be defending me. I'm happy for men to open doors and do this and do. I like men being men, right? Women have went to the absolute nth degree where they're going, I'll tile my own kitchen. Well, do you know what? I would prefer it if a guy tiled my kitchen and I made his dinner for him, right? Instead of being a absolute harridan bitch and saying I'll do everything myself. Men like doing these things. I'm quite happy cooking and making somebody their dinner if they do something I don't bloody want to do. What's wrong with that? Women are going fucking mental, and now you're getting guys who have twigged, the perverts have all twigged that they can get into women's spaces, they can get into women's toilets, everything's gender neutral, they can be pedos, they can be perverts, they can do what they like. Do you know what? Literally brought it on yourself. No me, because I didn't. I've never in my life, I've always been perfectly happy to tell any guy if I've got any kind of problem and they go, oh, can I help you if my car broke down or my bike wasn't working or whatever happened, or I'm quite happy for a guy, because guys like that's what I've asked loads of guys and I've just said, is that what yous like? And they're like, aye, we just like, oh, I'll do that for, and it makes them feel like men. So you're basically cutting the balls off of men and making them feel useless. What is the point in that? Guys like doing that. That's what they like. It's their sort of, that's a guy's job. And women being hyper independent and they don't need men is sort of making them feel useless, right? And the perverted ones have obviously lost the plot, and look what you get. Plus, you're now getting men who go, well, fuck you, you bitch. They will not open doors for you, they will not do this, they will not do that, they will not do nothing, because they just think we're all the same. See? Stupidity.